Hi, thanks for joining a new video. I want to share what I liked most and least about the Motorola Edge 50% if you're thinking about buying it. So, as always, don't buy the Motorola Edge 50 without watching this video. Let's consider its launch price of 9,999 pesos. It's likely lower now since the Edge 60 is out. Sorry for the delay with some videos, but from the launch price we can analyze pros and cons, though some cons might be forgivable if the price has dropped. But let's begin with what I liked most. The distribution of this product is excellent, as it is noteworthy that you can not only purchase it online. Typically, devices that offer great value for money are often available primarily through online distribution. However, this product is an exception, a rare find that provides a competitive price right from its launch. It's quite likely that in the coming months it will become even more competitively priced. The best part is that you have the flexibility to buy it both online and in physical retail stores. Its design is very nice. The curved back cover with synthetic leather curved front cover that gives the feeling of a super slim device. It also has IP68. It's a great way to resist submersion. The screen exceeds Full HD resolution, offering a great experience. What I liked most is the telephoto camera, which is unusual for the price. It's not a long-range, high-resolution camera, but for the price, it's among the best for short to medium-range zoom. Also in the camera comes the collaboration with Adobe Scan in scanner mode that allows you to add multiple pages, optimize them, and create a complete PDF. I find that backlit photos come out well as long as it detects the face, and the night vision mode at night does make a difference, so it is highly recommended to use it. Another thing I like is that even when recording in K, it allows you to switch between the different lenses built into the device. You can see for yourself that it doesn't provide an ultra-smooth experience, however, considering the price range, it's not something you commonly find. In fact, I have already mentioned that having a telephoto camera is not typical. Even smartphones without a telephoto camera that allow recording in 4K often don't let you switch between the main and ultra-wide lenses. Yet this one allows you to switch between all three cameras. The experience is quite advanced in that regard. It can record HDR video with a good result. It also includes the sidebar where you can open applications in a floating window mode, perfectly well implemented. You can move them, reposition them. In fact, it lets you open up to 5 applications in this mode. Very good. Supports charging 68 watts with charger included in the box. With 15 minutes I put it to charge. From 0% reached 42%, and charging up to 100% is completed in 48 minutes. However, if you think that's not enough, it also provides 15 watts wireless charging along with reverse wireless charging. These are features typically found only in high-end devices. It supports a SIM, so no need for a physical SIM on trips. But if you prefer, you can buy one. You can purchase via virtual stores, scan the QR code to add the service. It's very convenient for frequent travelers. This is quite unusual in this category. The screen projection is excellent, mainly due to Smart Connect. This feature is among the most advanced because it enables you to project the screen in a desktop format with applications open in floating window mode. Additionally, it allows you to connect to your computer, share photos, and even drag and drop files. I appreciate that the experience is comprehensive with any Windows computer, as you can install this application and even use your phone's camera as a wireless webcam. I also like that everything is pre-installed and pre-configured on the phone for easy use. It has 12GB, 512GB storage, which is impressive. It's a very competitive device, but here's what I didn't like. In my tests, I found that the microphones struggle in very noisy environments. They appear to lose clarity and attempt to cancel noise, generally not performing well. Photo capture seems sluggish, and I was not impressed with the portrait photography. The one-handed use mode is awkward, only bringing closer the elements above while completely hiding those on the side if they were at the bottom. The 5000 meters battery is rather small. In summary, during my rapid foreground drain test, it lasted only 3 hours and 16 minutes, while most phones with this capacity last over 4 hours. Processor seems poorly optimized, taking a long time to export video in my test and offering short gaming performance. However, it's worth noting that this processor might be optimized over time. To be honest, I haven't tested it recently, but if you've already purchased it, please share your experience in the comments. I strongly believe that its performance might improve with updates and over time. This is because it's a processor we've seen perform better in other smartphones. However, interestingly enough, it didn't perform as well here. I'm sure it has been optimized over time, and that's exactly why I'm eager to hear your thoughts in the comments below. At this point, we've come to the conclusion of this video.